With the greetings, I would like to start with the discussions for today with Rasaushadhis in Vata Vyadhi. A clinical perspective, classroom teachings of Rasa Chikitsa. It's always very important to understand the concepts of Vata when you want to really practice with that of Kaya Chikitsa line of treatments, especially with those disorders which are very much related, because in Ayurveda we give lots of importance for Vata and also for the Vata Chikitsa. Similarly, it's also very important to understand the concept of Vata and Vata Vyadhi and its significance in treating modalities with that of the Rasaushadhis. So what are the various Rasaushadhis which we can use in treating either of the Vata Vyadhis? What are the various Rasa Dravyas as a single drugs or in combinations which can be used for the utility of the disorders related to the Vata in a clinical perspective? So these are few of the thoughts which I would like to come up with my presentation in this 3 parts of the sessions. So now we'll be discussing about the part 1 of the session, that is Rasaushadhis in Vata Vyadhi. So before we enter into the Rasaushadhis in Vata Vyadhi, it is very important to understand a few of the factors which is very much related to the Rasa Chikitsa. They are, whenever we speak about Vata, we should not forget about the involvement of the Raktavarshrotas as well. Many times the disease is spreading or it is being aggravated by the involvement of the Rakta. Or many times it could be the involvement of the Raktavarshrotas into the involvement of the Vata, which is commonly seen in most of the Sampraptis of the Vata Vyadhi. And based on that, we are supposed to identify what are these factors which can lead to the disorders of Vata Vyadhi like presentations. We'll try to see about what the modern textbooks speak about the neurological deficits which are being categorized under the name of Vata Vyadhi, which we are taking in our routine clinical practices, and how to combat them with our Rasa medicines. Some of the common neurological deficits which are being observed, many times it is affected primarily because of the vascular lesions, as you can see. So these couple of slides were already being discussed, wherein you have the conditions like thrombosis, embolism, hemorrhages and all. Usually the drugs like Tamrabhasma, Shilajatu, Swarnamakshika, Tapyadiloha, they act wonderfully here. They act wonderfully here for ruling out many of these complaints. So these are the vascular lesions which need to be immediately treated well, so that you get the whole of the situation in control. Only one thing I find sometimes a problem is vascular pathologies. Say for example you have a thrombosis or embolism or any of such kinds, including the hemorrhages in the brain or elsewhere in the body, in the nervous system, especially in the central nervous system, where the person presents with that of a neurological deficit on a clinical setup. I do strongly recommend with the use of the Tamrabhasma, Swarnamakshika Bhasma. Sometimes, yes, I need to even give the Hemagarbha Potali to the patients of these kinds, wherein I get the situation to control very quickly. The neurological deficits are being very well controlled in these conditions with that of the Abhragarbha Potali or with that of the Abhraka Bhasma. Only in case if the condition is something like an aneurysm, in case if you're able to identify the aneurysms, I don't recommend the Tamrabhasma there, because it could be because of its Tikshnata, it might even, the aneurysm can land up into hemorrhages. So there it should be primarily with the Shita Prashamana Chikitsa. I try to select in those cases with the drugs like that of Pravala. I like to select with that of the Trinakanta. Trinakanta Pishti is a drug of choice in those conditions. It is going to act excellently in those neurological deficits. I don't recommend a very strong drug in case if it is aneurysm diagnosed clinically or with the help of any of the investigations. The other pathologies, like you have the inflammatory lesions, which is also very much significant, as you see with that of the meningeal irritations, which can cause that of the inflammatory pathologies. Most of the times the drugs which acts at this particular level is the Rajata Bhasma and that of Gunja preparations. So either Gunja or Rajata could be the drug of choices which can be acted here. Added to that, the next drug as a substitute could be the Gairika. Gairika could be a drug of choice here. Sometimes it is even Tutta and Kasisa Basmas. So what I do is I prepare all these things in the form of potalis and give it to the patient. In case if you don't have potalis in your racks, in your clinics, then you can go for the Basmas. Then they are really efficient to combat with these inflammatory pathologies. Most of the times I'll say any of the disorder to happen in the body, it is inflammatory changes anywhere in the Shrotasis or anywhere in the body which can cause, and which has been very well tackled with that of the Rajata Basma. In case if you are damn sure like the disease prognosis is being triggered or initiated, then blindly you can add Rajata Basma or Gunja preparations to those patients wherein the inflammatory pathologies are most of the times being reversed and it has been set back to the normal physiology from pathological condition. New growths, again it's a challenging thing where you have the benign and malignancies, as that of the cranium is rigid structure and cannot expand and growth. Even the benign tumors becomes dangerous because of the serious pressure effects and raise in the intracranial tension. Of course, most of the times they have been opted for surgical excision if it is possible. And in case if it is to be maintained on a conservative level wherein we need to treat the patient on a OPD basis, then yes, definitely I am treating these patients with that of Hemagarbha, Tamragarbha, Vishagarbha Potalis, along with that Varanadikwata, sometimes Shilajatu and Swarnamakshika. And most important thing is to combat this amount of pain, we have a drug called as Ratnagarbha Pottali, which can also be added here in these conditions wherever you have the intracranial pressure being raised. I don't claim like the patient will be totally fine and is warded off from the pain and discomfort. Definitely the pain is a challenging thing in most of these conditions, but to a certain extent the patient is being responded because none of these drugs are analgesic in action as you see with that of the modern medicines. They are very specifically into the Samprapti, wherein I am targeting primarily on Vata and Rakta and trying to see if at all I can combat the factors of Vata, because without Vata involvement there is no pain. So on that grounds I would like to reduce the systemic illnesses as that of the pain management in most of these conditions. The degenerative changes, as you see in case of certain degenerative changes occurs without a known cause, like you have a cerebellar degeneration, very commonly seen, senile changes sometimes. So all these conditions like where you have the degenerative changes like cerebellar or cerebral atrophy, senile changes, most of these conditions, the choices of drug could be most of the times it's Abracabasma. I do strongly recommend the use of the Abragarbha Pottali in such conditions. At least I use it for 3 to 6 months to the patient. I strongly support with that of the Tapiyadi Loha along with Abragarbha Pottali. Or you don't have the, in case the condition is very mild to moderate, even Chandra Prabhavati and Arogyavardhini could be the drug of choices along with Saraswatarishta. And I don't really recommend a lot of Asavarishtas into my practice in case if the patient is diabetic. In case if the patient is non-diabetic, definitely I do prescribe. The classical preparations of Asavarishtas are definitely beneficial, but the one which we have to depend on the market samples today might be having most of the times it is observed like the sugar content is high. So I'm a bit reserved in my words to use whenever I would like to prescribe any of the Asavarishta preparations in the patient suffering from diabetes. Or else I'm not against the administration of Asavarishta to the patients. The next thing is about the traumatic lesions, immediate or late effects, wherein we can see with that of the Tridhatu Garbha or Trivanga Vasma could be the drug of choices in such conditions. Also you have the conditions like wherein can be combated with that of the Low Garbha Pottali. You have certain drugs like Triloka Chintamani which can arrest the conditions of the traumatic lesions very significantly. Of course, you need any physical manipulations, it need to be done. I am telling only the conservative management. Other things can be reassessed from the investigations and can be one step ahead for the treatment modalities. Deficiency diseases, like you have the beriberiandol, which presents as that of the neurological deficits. So even many of these conditions, I'm definitely going with that of the Abraka, Tamra, Swarnamakshika like preparations. Haratala is a rightful drug which can be given in these conditions. Tarakshya Pishti is to be given in these conditions in deficiency diseases. It is highly beneficial. Of course, sometimes people are totally dependent on administration of the substitute vitamins or minerals, whatever it is. But in Ayurveda, I would like to recommend to give any of these basmas or pishtis to the patients. Congenital disorders, sometimes some of them do manifest early in their life, as you see of idiocy, while other manifest themselves later, as you see in case of hemorrhages from the congenital aneurysms and all. So these complications are to be combated based on the presentation, how they are. So on that grounds, I try to treat the patient right from the intrauterine life, and then try to see that I give them with the Masanumasa with that of Swarnabhasma or Hemagarbha Potali, so that you don't have any of the congenital anomalies in the child. Metabolic disorders, again treat the liver there. I would like to strongly recommend the involvement of the Raktavashrotas. I do strongly recommend here the preparations like Arogyavardhini, Tamrabhasma, which are very much essential to be administered in these conditions. Drugs and poisons, definitely we need to administer with the conditions wherein we will go for the Vishagna Dravyas, like again you have Tamra, Swarna, Shirisha, all are Vishagna, so they can be prescribed to. Basic neurological abnormalities, when it has been categorized from the modern textbooks, as you see with that of the upper motor neuron lesions, wherein you can categorize them as pyramidal lesions. The patient presents with that of loss of muscle power, increased muscle tone, exaggerated deep reflexes, loss of superficial reflexes, positive Babinski's response. In acute, usually vascular lesions, the typical signs listed above appears only after the stage of shock, when all the reflexes are absent and muscles are hypotonic is over. So this is the way how most of the times the UMN lesion is being represented. And the treatment which is usually being followed, I don't say these are SOPs, but most of the times, of course, I need to see the patient, his Prakruti, Vikruti, assess the Samprapti, everything. But on a gross grounds are these conditions wherein the drugs like Chandraprabhavati, Arogyavardhini, Hemagarbha Potali, Abragarbha Potali, Tapadi Loha mixed with Makaradwaja, Avipattikar and Godanti could be few of the choices which can be given to some patients of these kinds, wherein they do respond significantly in most of the clinical cases. When you have a lesion as that of a lower motor neuron lesion, wherein you have a decreased muscle tone, loss of power in the muscle degeneration and loss of muscle mass, diminished or absent deep reflexes, superficial reflexes usually retained, plantar response remains flexor. In certain diseases, like you see in case of motor neuron disease, a combination of upper and lower motor neuron lesions may appear. Deep reflexes may not then be exaggerated, but actually diminished, and the only evidence of the pyramidal lesion may be upgoing toe of the Babinski's response. So many times these cases are really challenging and they absolutely don't respond to most of the treatment modalities. We try to do the Kriya Sankarya, we try to do lots of Panchakarma, lots of enemas in the form of bastis. But still controlling the patient at that particular way is a real challenge, especially with these conditions. So few of the treatments which the Rasa textbooks can be given to most of the conditions, like wherein the various formulations in these conditions could be something like Ekangavira Potali in the form of Abragarbha Potali, like you have the Tamragarbha Potali, Rasagarbha Potali, Yogaraja, Swarna Yogaraja Gugulu, Avipattikar Churna, Godanti Basma, Tyapyadi Loha and Makaradwaja as a combination. So these are few of the drugs of choices wherein a combination of these things can be made to see what best you can do to the patient at that particular moment. Can we really give some benefit to the patient, or we can postpone the milestones of the disease, or we can postpone the illness sequences which is happening, or is it possible to totally cure if at all? So in either of these conditions, they are definitely going to support with these combinations. Cerebellar lesions, as you see with that of the muscle tone and power, never normal. Deep reflexes are retained, but pendular responses to the knee jerk. In spite of the above, the patient unsteady and tends to fall on the side of the lesion. Keeps the eyes or closed, makes no difference to him. Muscle coordination defective. Dysdichokinesia, intentional tremors on finger, nose and heel knee test, and nystagmus are usually being observed in most of these cases of cerebellar lesions. So most of the times these patients are also being reported in the routine clinical practice. It's not like all the neurological cases are bedridden then they come to the OPDs. There are many times in other conditions where the patient might not be on the stretcher, but they can be able to walk and come to you. Might be it's the initial form of the disease, or in the state of Chayan Prakopavastha, or initial starting of the Pururupavastha or Vekthavastha, wherein you need an immediate medicines which can act very quickly to those conditions and control the disease prognosis, so that we can make the patient fall away from the clutches. Let him not be dependent for lifetime with all such neurological deficits. And few of the rasa medicines which can be prescribed in most of these conditions are like the Hemagarbha Pottali, Abragarbha Pottali, Vachaswarana, Jatamansi Yoga, Chakraprabha, Suta Shekhara Rasa, Kampavatari Rasa, etc. These are few of the combinations or few of the choices wherein we can select in most of these conditions. In chronic usage, I don't ask you to use it for 1 day, 1 week or 15 days and observe the response. You have the response, you don't have the response, either the way, try to extend the medicine with a proper reassessment, wherein you can have a real benefit from most of such neurological deficits. Sensory losses, this has been observed very significantly in the clinical practice, wherein you have the pathogenesis as, while the fibers are carrying superficial sensations of the pain and temperature cross over to the opposite side in the spinal cord, touch fibers do so only partially. Lesions of the spinal cord like syringomyelia therefore do not cause loss of touch, but only of the pain and temperature. In lesions of the peripheral nerves, all sensations superficial and deep are affected. So you have many of patients in this category as well in the clinical practice. Lesions are very high up, say in the internal capsule, also cause loss of all sensations, including that of the touch, as by that level all touch fibers have crossed over. So you have many such conditions wherein you have altered sensory losses, you have altered sensory conditions in the patients. Deep sensations, sense of the position and vibrations are affected in the peripheral nerve lesions or in the lesions involving the posterior column, where these fibers are conveyed up the cord, like you see with that of the Romberg sign. Unsteadiness on closing the eyes while standing due to the removal of the visual compensation. It's a typical deep sensory loss and may be present when this loss is minimum or minimal and difficult to otherwise demonstrate. So most of these conditions, I will say, promising drug could be Kupilu. You have Mallasindura, you have Rasagarbha Pottali, Mallagarbha Pottali. So these are few of the drugs which can be given in combination with that of Aprakabasma or Swarnamakshika. Kupilu is a drug of choice when you can mix it with Mallasindura and give it to the patient whenever you have these sensations or any sensory losses. So Rasagarbha Pottali, Shuddha Kupilu, Brihatvata Chintamani in the form of Pottali, Hemagarbha Pottali, or few of the choices. Similarly, I would like to add up with the drugs like that of Mallasindura, Mallagarbha Pottali. Really, they are wonderful in case of sensory losses. In combination with that of abraca, then it's a boon to the patient to have an excellent response with that of the sensory lesions. Extrapyramidal lesions, generalized muscle rigidity and the cogwheel type in the limbs, paucity and slowness of the movement, have hypokinesis, but power is well preserved, involuntary movements, tremors in the hands and fingers, chorea, athetosis, and myoclonus. So these are few of the involuntary movements. Oculogyricrisis, eyes turned to one side, is fixed in a fixed gaze. So most of these conditions, whenever you have Campavatarirus is one such a drug which is really benefited to most of these conditions. I do give Campavatarirus in combination with that of Abragarba potali to the patients of these conditions who respond usually well. But other combinations could be Tamragarba potali, Abragarba potali, Campavatarirus, Vyadiharandras, Rasakarpura, or few of the other choices where it can be given considering the patient's condition, considering how the patient responds to most of these conditions and what is his prakriti and vikruti, and try to administer it to the situations. Defects of the superior cerebral function, as you see with that of the intellect, memory, orientation in time and space, speech, and it's not specific to that of the articulation. So these are the deficits where you can see with that of the superior cerebral function, where you have an alteration in the or some lesion or some pathology in the cerebral functions, especially in the higher functions. In those conditions, my choice could be Hemagarba. I will say make this drug mandatory because it's going to control Vata, it is Rasayana, it is Ojovardhana, and also it is going to control the any of the tissue damage in the body is being repaired very well. So Hemagarba potali is a drug of choice in most of such neurological deficits. Other drugs could be something like Rasagarba potali, Brahmivati, which is Swarnayukta, Saraswatarishta with gold, Ashwagandharishta with honey as a preservative, Makaradhwaja could be few of the choices which can be given in most of these patients. Usually the patient responds very well with the administration of these medicines in most of the times. The cranial nerve lesion is also a very important thing where most of the times you find the patients suffering from either one or more of the cranial nerve lesion comes to the clinic with varied complaints. All the cranial nerves are a group of nerves, as a case may be, to be tested individually for their functions. So you can refer the textbook for the individual cranial nerve lesions, and as per that the treatment modality can be suited according to the clinical presentations. Kernicks sign, flexing the lower limb at the hip and then trying to extend the leg at the knee is painful. Also you know about the Brudzinski sign, flexing of the lower limb on one side causing an automatic flexion of the other. So these are few of the signs, like as you see in case of the meningeal irritation where you have the neck rigidity, Kernicks sign and Brudzinski sign. In these conditions, also pain in the head and neck. In these conditions, the choices of drugs could be Rasagarba potali, Ratnagarba potali, Hemagarba potali, Rasakarpura, Vyadiharandras, Malla Sindura. These are few of the combinations of drugs which can be given in most of these conditions. Multiple involvement of the peripheral nerves, as you see in case of polyneuropathy, may cause glove and stocking type of sensory loss, paresthesia. LMN sign, lower motor neuron sign, and weakness in the distal muscles. It is useful to remember the nerve supply of the tendon reflex. Like this is a general guidelines for the biceps jerk, it is cervical 5 and 6, brachioradialis jerk, it is cervical 5 and 6, triceps jerk, it is cervical 7, knee jerk is lumbar 3 and 4, ankle jerk is sacral 1. So based on this you can try to trace out the lesion, the area where it is being affected, or how you have to plan up for the local treatments. Illustration of the neurological condition, some of the more common ones as you see in case of hemiplegia to illustrate the upper motor neuron lesion, paraplegia to illustrate the upper motor neuron lesion in both the limbs, poliomyelitis to illustrate the lower motor neuron lesion, Peripheral neuritis to illustrate the multiple peripheral nerve lesions. Hereditary ataxias to illustrate the cerebellar lesions. Parkinsonism to illustrate the muscle lesions as distinct from a neurological lesion. Speech defects, dysphasia, dysarthria. Myopathies to illustrate muscle lesions as distinct from a neurological lesion. Meningitis to illustrate meningeal irritation. Epilepsies to illustrate foci of abnormal electrical discharges in the brain. Hemiplegia, one such condition which is among the set of neurological conditions where you have a high rate of the patients where they approach to the Ayurvedic treatment or Ayurvedic management, either in acute conditions or in a chronic management of the hemiplegia or any of the paralysis like presentations, what you call as Pakshagata treatment. So cerebral thrombosis or embolism in the internal capsule, where all the motor on the sensory fibers are concentrated in a small area, results in complete hemiplegic of the opposite side. At first there is a stage of shock when cessation of all movements, muscles are toneless and flaccid and deep reflexes are absent. After a few days or weeks, typical signs of the pyramidal lesions appear. If sensory fibers have been implicated in the vascular episode, sensory loss is present at the same time. So the treatment schedule in such conditions could be Chandraprabhavati, Arogyavardhini Ras, Hemagarbha Potali. Initially Tampragarbha Potali, later on Abragarbha Potali could be the choice. Trilokya Chintamani or Brihatvata Chintamani with Saraswatarishta as an Anupanam could be given. A powder mixture of Avipatikar Churna, Godathi Basma, Makaradhoja, Tapyadi Loha, Abraka Basma could be given. Panchakarma Upachara like that of the Shirodhara, Virechana. Nasya after assessing the condition. Abhyanga, Dashamola Niruha, Rajayapana Basti, either of the things as per the patient's requirement could be the choices for the treatment modalities. These are the various conditions like quadriplegic, hemiplegic, paraplegic and able-bodied. So these are the various conditions. Based on that we can go for the treatment modalities specifically. Pakshagata treatment could be Snehanam, Svedhanam, Sneha Samyukta Virechanam as claimed by Acharya Charaka. Similarly, Sushruta, wherein he explains about the Mrudu Virechana. I strongly believe in Nitya Anulomana, might be its Mrudu Virechana every day. The targeted drug is Vishatinduka as claimed by Rasatarangini 24th chapter 184 shloka. For Pakshagata, Vishatinduka or the Kupilu is a drug of choice which could be given in the cases of such neurological deficits. Paraplegia. Paraplegia is a condition wherein the consequent on a lesion of the spinal cord below the cervical region, both the lower limbs may be paralyzed, as you see in case of UMN lesion. Bladder disturbances may be present. In case of the lesion is in the lower cervical cord, there may be a lower motor neuron type of paralysis. In both the upper limbs, and in addition to the paraplegia of the lower limb, there are varied degree of the sensory losses also. So based on this, the treatment modalities can be planned up as accordingly. As you see with that of the peripheral neuritis, consequent upon the degeneration of the peripheral nerves, there may be paresthesia, abnormal sensation like ants crawling on the distal portions of the limbs, along with the varied degree of sensory loss, both superficial and deep, on the same areas, along with the deep muscle tenderness and a lower motor neuron lesion type of paralysis. So this could be the involvement of the peripheral neuritis. Induvati is a combination where I usually recommend in these conditions. It's a combination of Samira Pannagarasa along with Manjishta Trifala Trikatu Daru Haridra combinations. Added to that also, I do strongly believe in drugs like Vishamustivati, Navajivan Ras, Kupilu preparations. Malla Sindhura like preparations, where they are promising to act wonderful in these conditions as peripheral neuritis, which is commonly seen in routine clinical practice in many neurological deficits. The treatments in general, Shuddha Kupilu, Vishamushti, Malagarbha, Talagarbha or Shilagarbha as well. Vyomashma, jade oil with a neem leaf oil can be mixed up and it could be applied on the external surface which soothes the area. Myopathies. Myopathies is a condition wherein a group of muscles may atrophy due to the generic deficit or the defects. The muscle mass becomes small, though in some cases it may look even bigger than the normal. As you see, like the conditions like pseudohypertrophies due to overgrowth of the fibrous tissue as in pseudohypertrophy, muscular dystrophy of the calf muscles. There is no demonstrable neurological abnormalities and is merely mentioned here to illustrate a purely muscle lesion as distinct from the neurological lesions. And my treatment modality in such conditions in the myopathies could be Abragarbha Pottali along with Ashwagandha Gritha to be given to such patients, wherein it could repair the conditions to a considerable way. Speech defects may occur due to the paralysis of one sort or the other of the muscle concerned with the articulations of the speech, like dysarthria. There is no true disturbances of the speech mechanism of the brain. True speech defects like dysphasia and aphasia occurs when the speech areas of the brain are involved in the lesion. Depending on the area involved, the defect may be motor, sensory or mixed. In sensory aphasia, the patient is unable to properly interpret the spoken or written word, with the result that replies have no relation to the questions asked. So this is specific where you can see in some of the neurological deficits wherein you have the patient with these complaints. In motor aphasia, the patient understands what has been asked of him but is unable to reply because he cannot find the appropriate word to express himself. If shown an article, he will recognize it but will be unable to name it. If the correct name is supplied, he will be able to choose it from incorrect ones. The sensory aphasia will not be able to recognize or name the object even when supplied with a correct name. Meningitis. When the meninges are involved in an inflammatory process, the signs of the meningeal irritation along with the general signs of inflammation like fever, headache, vomiting results. Treatment in such conditions could be Rasakarpura, Trailokya Chintamani Rasa, Pravala Garbha Pottali, etc. Of course, the root cause for the meningeal irritation could be sorted out, identified and treated as well. Epilepsies, whenever you have a patient with epilepsy, might be you take it as apasmara. The treatment could be the choices like Makshika, Shilajatu, Haratala, Swarna, Rajata, Tamra, Kantaloha. These are few of the examples of the neurological disorders. It is not possible to give all the diseases of central nervous system. These are basics, and even the treatment modalities, whatever is being claimed, are based on some textual knowledges, clinical experiences of various teachers, and what I'm taken into my practices. This is how I choose the drug in most of the neurological deficits and try to manipulate these pathologies and convert them into a normal physiologies. But even after the efforts, sometimes it happens the condition goes out of the reach. Then it becomes asadhya roga, nashtakara. So to remove this asadhya roga, where they go into the asadhya avastha, Abrakan Makshika, as claimed by the textbooks of Rasaprakasha Sudhakara and Rasaratna Samuchaya, to be given to the patient to convert it into sadhyakara. You don't have this word called as asadhya roga or kruchrasadhya in Rasashastra. Rasashastra always believes in treating all sorts of emergency conditions. It is said to treat all sorts of kruchrasadhya, asadhya vyadis. It is a boon to the humans to treat such conditions, including the neurological deficits. Only thing is, you have to prepare it in a proper way, identify it in a proper way, give it in a right time, select a proper drug and administer it to the patient. Then it becomes a boon. It is like a nectar. So in most of these neurological deficits, because of the involvement of the vata, there is a dhatu kshaya which has been observed. There is emaciation, there is a deterioration. So to rule out, to ward off this, the dhatu vivardhana, again Swarna is to be indicated as claimed by Acharya Vakpatha in Rasaratna Samuchaya. So on that grounds, Swarna is a mandated drug which can be given in most of such neurological conditions. You have to increase the life expectancy of an individual, then you have to treat him with the Ayusha set of drugs. You have to increase the life expectancy where you need to do the Ayu Vardhana of an individual, then treat him with that of drugs like Abraka, Vaikranta, Swarna, Rajata, Tamra, Kantaloha, Naga, Manikya, Mukta Shukti, Pushyaraga, Vajra, Vaidurya. So there are wide range of drugs which can be given as per the classical references. That is the name of the textbook, chapter number and shloka number. Balya set of drugs, because Bala is usually being affected. Vata is equivalent to Bala. Here Vata is derailed, so Bala is also being affected. So try to increase the Bala by giving the set of drugs as Balya categories in that of the Rasa Shastra, as Abraka, Vaikranta, Makshika, Shilajatu, Tutta, Kasi, Saratala, Ingula, Swarna, Rajata, Kantaloha, Vanga, Naga. So these drugs could be given to increase the Bala of an individual. You have the other set of drugs which are Balya, as you see with that of the Mukta Shukti, Pravala, Panna, Vajra, Neela, Gomeda, Vaidurya, Spatika, Godanti, Shankha, Tankana, Gunja, Ballataka, Vishutinduka. So you have a wide range of drugs which can be given as Balya. Mrityugna, when the patient is almost supposed to die, or in a critically ill patients, you want to ward off the mrityu, then you need to prescribe him with the drugs like Abraka, Makshika, Shilajatu, Gandhaka, Haratala, Kantaloha, Naga, Vajra, in a combination which suits to the patient's condition, assessing his Kriya Kala, assessing his Dosha Dusha Samurchana, assessing his Samprapti, assessing his Prakruti, Vikruti and other factors, and give him these set of drugs which is most suited for his clinical presentation, and try to see that you can ward off the mrityu of the person by administering either of these drugs. Ojo Vardhana, Haratala, Swarna and Panna. These three drugs in the syllabus are said to be Ojo Vardhaka. So try to administer them and see that always the patient is being uplifted in respect to his ojas. And usually for most of these conditions I give them with the gruta as an anupanam. Might be it's a simple acha gruta. If you want to give some specific grutas, like you want to give some Indukanta gruta, Ashwagandha gruta, Shatavari gruta, yes, it's up to your choice. But my combination is Haratala, Swarna and Panna to be given to the patient. I usually go with the Achagruta, plain ghee as an. And I believe lots in the Potali Kalpanas, because more and more you go for the treatment, especially with that of the pharmaceutical processing, and you process it more and more times with that of Gandhaka, so it becomes more and more potent. Because more the Gandhaka Jarana, more is a deeper penetration and also involvement in the human body, wherein it can ward off most of the diseases. So on that grounds, I strongly believe in the Potali Kalpanas, which I take into most of my clinical practices and use it in most of these dreaded disorders as that of the Vata Vyadhis. So thank you very much for comments. Be free to meet me or ping me at rasavaidya@gmail.com. Thank you once again.